You just, instead of telling me to be quiet, you just shook the candy really hard and then took a big piece and then crunched on it really hard and then shook it up again and then set it aside.
It was so good. So worth it.
Okay. Welcome to the Mental Funny Bone. I'm Sarah. She's Christine. We don't really know what we're talking about. We have some links in the show notes if you need help with any mental health issues. Also, you can call or text 988. Is that the correct number? I always feel like I'm getting that wrong. I don't know why.
But you're getting it right. Hi, I'm Christine. A big part of...
Nope. Did it for you.
Nope. All right. Fine.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into it. Do you have fan mail? Has anyone given you positive feedback about us this week?
No.
Amazing. I found on the Buzzsprout website that we have enabled a fan mail feature.
Oh, this is exciting.
If you're listening to us on any platform, there's a little link in the show notes that says fan mail goes here. And if you click on that, whatever you type in comes directly to our Buzzsprout accounts. It doesn't go to our gastergirls@gmail.com email address. It goes right to the fan mail. The disadvantage is that we can't see who it's from. It's anonymous feedback.
Have we gotten any feedback?
We got some last week
from that link. Were you notified that we got the feedback?
It popped up when I went in there to put in the new episode. I was like, what's this?
Because I can't even log into Buzzsprout on my phone anymore. It's asking for the login and I don't know what it is.
I can help you with that.
Okay. But don't say it now because we're recording. We don't want everybody to be logging in our Buzzsprout.
So you imagine all 20 people being like, hey, I edited it for you.
Before we get there, I want to sidetrack for a second and just talk about show notes. When you listen to a podcast, how many times do you look at the show notes?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
All right. So what's the feedback that we got?
That the story about your mother making us eat gruel.
Yeah.
Somebody's mom put green beans in the beefaroni, and they missed a St. Michael's basketball practice because they weren't allowed to get up from the table until they ate all of it.
Oh, dear God. Was it Gerald that sent that feedback to us?
We're going to have to text him and be like, hey, dude.
I'm going to have to ask him. I'm not doing that now because I feel like that sidetracked me last time. But I feel like who else is listening that didn't go to a St. Michael's basketball practice?
I don't know because I didn't go. I had cheerleading practice.
And trying to think who else would listen. There was a Jaguar. See, Gerald, JR, I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen. Chris is dead. That's sad. Trying to think of other boys that I went to elementary school with. Andy, Eric, he's dead.
Sarah, stop it.
Welcome to the Mental Funny Bone. Anyway, that's great. I love that. Now we just have to find out who leaves the feedback.
If you've been looking for an anonymous way to give us feedback,
that's good. If you want to tell us we suck or give us do this better, you can do it this way and we won't even know it was you. We'll still be friends with you.
We will. We'll talk about you on the show like you're a giant pussy, but feel free.
Yeah. It'll be like that time when someone said, hey, your sister swears a lot. Or one of my favorite bits of feedback was you might want to warn everybody that you shouldn't be listening at the office. What was that feed? Do you remember this? And I was like, who in the fuck are you listening on speaker in the office? Are you not putting your headset in?
I do recall.
You are actually going to get feedback back from us that says, stop doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Anyway, okay, that's great. I like that. I like the feedback. I like the fan mail.
Yeah. So if you know how to navigate to the show notes, and I think primarily the reason I don't look at the show notes, because podcasts for me are things that I listen to when I'm mobile, like I'm walking around, I'm driving, doing other stuff. So I'm not real focused on, I think maybe once I was like, I would like to check out that book, but I was like, I'm going to look at the show notes. And then I was like, I don't know where the show notes are.
I feel like that's what's happened. During an episode, I've been like, oh, I need to check that out in the show notes. And then I tried to actually check it out and I couldn't even find the show notes. And that just made me feel dumb. And therefore, I have never, ever thought about show notes again.
Right. But everyone who podcasts says show notes.
It's in the show notes.
Which is why I put a lot of effort into making beautiful show notes for us.
You do. And Chad, and doesn't Riverside just put them together for us now?
Yeah, like I outsource that to Chad, or
Yeah.
in the editing software, the Descript editing
Ooh,
software,
that's it. Yeah.
there's a thing called an underlord, and he does it.
Oh, wow. I'm afraid of him.
Yeah, yeah, he's gonna run the world one day. Right now, he just writes the show notes for us, so I don't think there's
You know who his voice is, right?
Garfield
Well,
the cat, even funnier.
yeah, for sure. That's definitely his voice.
All right, moving on from fan mail, I have a confession. Since I was away from home and in Raleigh this week with not a whole lot to entertain myself, I have been watching a lot of Facebook Reels. Do you know what a Facebook Reel is?
I do. I do. I get sucked into those. I am going to be quitting Facebook again, though. But go ahead.
I watch a lot of them. Like I lost
But they're
3
so
hours
fun. Do
on
you,
on
like,
Sunday night.
they're amazing, though. Do you watch anybody make cakes? I like that.
I have watched people make cakes. I have watched somebody make tiny cakes with tiny instruments where she is in a tiny kitchen making tiny things. And I love that. And for some reason, my algorithm thinks that I am a trad wife, but I don't know why or how.
Hey, what? Wife?
A trad wife, a traditional wife, like someone who makes her
Yeah.
own bread and rears children by tying them to herself. I don't know.
Who taught you that it's trad wife? Who taught
Because it says it. Hi,
you?
trad wives.
Oh,
I was like, first off, you guys missed the boat on that one because I'm
hold on.
not.
Explain a traditional wife to me again.
She fills a traditional gender role in the home and she stays home and she bakes bread and makes her own clothes and she's wearing a dress with pearls in some of the video. And to be fair, all I know about it is what I see on Facebook
Yeah,
Reels.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. And hey, if that's what you're into, cool. Good for you.
yeah,
Do it.
I'm happy for you. You look delighted.
Mhm.
You look
Trad wife.
June Cleaver fabulous
You
while you're in the
know
most amazing kitchen I've ever seen.
who is the best trad wife?
Pam Swanek.
Anita Gaster.
She was.
Because of a story that Lori Black shared with us that I don't remember, but makes me fall in love with her even more. I love her lots because she's my mommy and all, but this story opened up a new place in my heart because it's fucking amazing. Lori Black says to us, I don't know the exact words, but she was like, yeah, one of the things I remember about your mom is she used to have to go home and get out the pledge.
Hindsight.
The pine saw at the end of the day before your dad got home so she can make it smell like she had been cleaning all day. When in reality, she was over at Pam Swanwick's house. That's all she said, but I imagine the end of that sentence is smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee
And exchanging smutty Harlequin romance novels.
and doing some sort of craft, maybe. I don't know. But this story, cause when I was on maternity leave, I'm mad at myself because I didn't get out the good smelling shit, but I was like the flight of the bumblebee, like a half hour before Noah got home. I'd been sleeping with the baby on the couch the majority of the day. And then I was like, oh shit, it's 4:30.
That is
Anyway, so yeah, our mother is a great trad wife.
right. These videos. There is also, I think Facebook thinks I might be a 25-year-old girl who's dating.
Oh.
Because it's also showing me a lot of videos of adorable boys who are telling me how to date better. And I was like,
Oh, I wonder where they get this from. Like mine shows me cake making, somebody in a kitchen pouring a large amount of dough out of a very large bowl and cutting it, like, and soccer things.
yeah, I don't know. I must have paused on one to be like, what are the kids
Yeah.
talking about these days?
Oh, and Jason Kelsey, anything Jason Kelsey too.
That I have no Kelseys. I have no Taylor.
Wow.
Maybe that's it.
You are
Maybe I have
doing it
too much
wrong. You are
Taylor
doing it
Swift.
wrong.
But here's what happens. I'm fucking fascinated by it. This little guy who's cutting up food in his kitchen, telling me like the deepest, darkest secrets of boys who are dating. And I was like, I gotta know. I have to know what the secret is. It's not useful knowledge for me at all. I was like, and what it makes me think of is how dumb are the girls that are dating now that they need this dude, to tell them if he doesn't text you back, he doesn't like you.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like I didn't really get that all the time. If he didn't call me back, I'd be like, I guess I'll just call him again. You
I
know what I'll
mean,
do? I'll go over to his house. You know what I'll
right.
do if I'll army crawl through his yard.
It's
Yeah, they're dumb.
like a
It's
lot.
just the age. It's the age, and we've always been dumb. Hmm.
And some of the advice is heart melting. Here's the secret to approaching a guy in 2024. He's brief eye contact across the bar. I was like, got it. Yeah.
Done.
He's walk towards me, give me a compliment, tell me hi, ask me my name. He's one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to say hi, give you my name, and refuse to give you my number. And that's just a polite rejection. That doesn't hurt for more than 15 minutes. Or I'm going to tell you hi, accept your compliment, give you my number, ask for your number, and now you're in business. That's all it takes. Hi.
So I
And I
feel
was
like
like,
why is someone on Facebook telling,
they,
is this new information?
maybe they don't know. And I was like, it seems to me like nothing. It's been what, 25, 30 years since I was actively
It's
part of
been a
this thing. And
minute.
I was like,
It's been a minute.
I feel like I could still go back to it right now and be just A-okay. All right. Yeah, that's how it's
Yeah.
done.
Like,
That's how
hey,
it's done, girls.
do you want to come back to my apartment and see my new stereo system?
I fell for it multiple times.
All the time. All the time.
That's gotta be a really nice stereo. I wonder what's so unique about it. I'm curious. Thank you.
I don't know. I
Hi.
felt just going like the direct route was good. And the direct
Hi.
route is, hi, I'm Sarah. What's your name?
Hi. I like your Ramones t-shirt.
Yeah. Do you want to grind?
A bit more forward than some of them, but whatever gets you to
Hey,
connect. But
hey, Hob, it's Steve. If you're just talking to me because you think I'm going to make out with you later, I'm not going to make out with you. And he didn't even say a word. He just walked right away from me. I felt like might have been one of the best things that I've ever done. We wasted
mean,
zero time.
no one's feelings are hurt. Like I
Nope.
told you I wasn't going to make out with you. And he was
Cool.
like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Off I go.
Peace.
Yeah, you're not recording. You're not recording. Right. Okay, we're going to wrap up the Reels talk because I feel like it is 20 minutes into our recording and we haven't even 5 minutes is what I had for fan mail. It's been quite some time. I'm going to have to do some editing for this one, I think.
It's all right. It's good because we're like, we got our shit together and we're like, it's a normal time. Like, it's a Monday. We don't release till Thursday. But I should tell you in your ADHD mind, that doesn't mean that you can wait until 9 o'clock on Wednesday night to do
Thursday.
the editing. In fact, I believe that you have some time set aside at 7 p.m. on Wednesday that you no longer need.
Thank you. I'm just putting it in my calendar right now where it says,
or you could do it tomorrow.
yeah, no, I'm having dinner with somebody tomorrow. I'm taking the dating advice from the Reels people and just applying it to my girl relationships.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is a nice segue into visiting Olivia and making some friends.
Okay.
So on Tuesday, I drove down because Liv was supposed to have a soccer game in Danville, Virginia. And that's
Dan lives. It's where Dan lives.
He doesn't live there anymore. He just founded the town.
Oh, okay.
So I think he died.
I feel like his ghost is always there.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the saloon in Danville, Virginia. Or the brothel. I'm not sure.
Cool.
Anyway, Olivia calls me when I'm about halfway to Danville and she's, hey, that game's canceled. And I was like, oh, poor Liv.
We talked about this last week.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Never mind. Did I tell you about making friends, though? Because I feel like that happened after we started recording.
Okay.
After we recorded.
I don't remember that.
I go to visit Olivia, and then I have to go to go.
Oh, is this where you went to Top Golf wearing slutty heels?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
This was after.
Yeah, me and Lucas. Mm-hmm. Lucas picked me up at the hotel, and obviously we're the two prettiest people there.
Yeah.
Except for this one girl, Sharon. So Sharon and I get to talking, and about 4 minutes into the conversation, I love your outfit. love your shoes. I love everything that you are doing right now. She's like, let's talk.
She is your best friend because she just did everything that you need someone to do.
Yeah. Yes. And I was like, I know, isn't this boring? Where are you from? And she was like, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. And I was like, can I ask a question? And I said, when you cheer for college football, your team is the Gamecock, the University of South Carolina. I love the idea of having a pair of pants that say Cox right across the butt. And I was like, and then it was like that scene in Step Brothers where I was like, do we just become best friends? Are we going to do karate in the garage?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, why don't we make us some bunk beds?
Oh, I love that. I love that for you.
And she was like, listen, I don't care about work. I don't care about these guys. I feel like you and I are friends, and I'm going to text you. In fact, I'm going to text you right now so that you have my number.
Oh, I love Sharon. I can't wait to find out that she's a serial killer.
She is definitely going to murder me. Yeah, for sure.
Is she going to listen to the podcast? I feel like you should have told her about the podcast.
Oh, I definitely gave her a card. Gave her a card.
Sweet.
Meg came over, met her.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about work.
Well,
which is fine because that's what we're supposed to do.
A work event.
And Meg loves her. And Meg's, oh my God, we're hiring. So now we're trying to hire Sharon.
And that's fantastic.
Sharon's real close with her dad, and her nickname growing up was Hurricane.
I love Sharon. Can she be my best friend?
Yes. Obviously, as soon as she meets you, she's going to like you more.
No. So that is not the case with everybody. You have friends that like you more.
Yeah. Like 2. I only have 4 friends, but yeah, 2 of them like me more than they like you. So that was all very nice, very exciting. And hopefully she joins our group because we were charming as fuck.
I like it. So is she going to join is she going to?
Maybe.
What will she do?
We'll see. Sales. She's a sales lady.
Oh, I know someone else who does sales. Okay, moving on.
She does sales to pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. It's okay. You can just tell me that you don't ever want to hire me or have me work with you. It's okay.
Did we not just cover how much everybody likes you more? It's a lot of pressure.
Doesn't get me a new job.
A lot of pressure for me to perform at work.
I love you.
Anyway.
I love you. It's fine. When are you and Sharon going on vacation together? Because I feel like that's where you are in your relationship.
She was like, come down and we'll go to a Gamecocks game together. That's where she'll kill me. Pretty sure.
Can you mail me a Cox shirt before she kills you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to buy one to wear, so I'll buy 2.
Speaking of shirts, did we not end one of the episodes talking about the shirt that you brought me home from Mexico? But we never really talked about it. Do you remember this? We did. I think we did promise that 2 episodes ago. So back in the 90s, when we lived in Arizona, you could rent a beach house in Rocky Point, Mexico for 11 cents, I think. I had to buck up $20 for a mansion on the beach. It was still too expensive for me. Yeah, you couldn't go. And I think the $20 was for me and Mike. Yeah. $20 a couple for a mansion on the beach. And then the people who we were with, they were good at speaking Spanish. They were bold enough to speak Spanish. And they talked to a guy, and the guy gave us a bunch of shrimp and shellfish and the old Corona they had laying around, apparently. And all of that cost us like $4. And you had diarrhea the whole time. My God. That was a difficult journey back home. But what I'm saying is then we went shopping in the little shopping area, and they had a bunch of tourist things you can buy. And I look up, I'm buying like a drug dealer coat. Do you know the one with the hood and the pocket here? It looks like a hoodie sweatshirt, but it's made of wheat or whatever. It's made of the Chi-Chi's hat. Right. They took his hat and made it into a sweatshirt. I don't know why that's what I think, but that's exactly what I think. And I guarantee there's so many people who know exactly what I'm talking about.
Everybody had them. I had one that was like pale green.
Yeah.
I wore it with my folded over pegged jeans and my dark green suede soccer shoes. What were those called? Do you remember them?
Gazelles.
Yes. But anyway, I was looking at a bunch of those, and up high on a shelf with a beam of sunlight hitting it was the perfect shirt for my sister during this time period. Angels sang. They had 2 Jesus candles on either side of it lit.
Legit, like for real.
No lie. You could buy them everywhere. And this t-shirt was white with black bold lettering. No ornaments or fancy scroll lettering. It was as if a generic brand from the 1980s had made a t-shirt, and this t-shirt said fuck on the first date.
Bingo.
I was like, must have it. I paid $3 for it and brought it home to you. Did you wear it out?
I think she wore it out once. And I think once I was coloring my hair in the laundry room wearing it.
I remember that.
Weren't you there with me?
I was with you, yeah.
And Grandma came out.
I remember her being upset about the hair dyeing, but I think she was upset about the shirt.
Yeah, I think it was really the shirt that got her in the end. Yeah, it was a bit much for her.
Oh my God.
I think Kimmy wore that t-shirt, and I also had a lighter that was a penis.
I remember this party.
Were we down in the patch?
We were at David's house.
Were we?
David had a birthday party for me. I think I was 29.
That's what it was. And Kimmy had the penis lighter. I don't know if she had the t-shirt on at that time, but we definitely had the penis lighter.
It was amazing. Just amazing.
Man, those are the days.
My God. There you are. There's that story. Yeah. So I also, on the way home from Raleigh, I went to Stanton, Virginia, which is outside of Charlottesville. I think it was your stopover on the way home with our parents.
It was. I didn't realize it was Stanton. I thought it was Staunton.
Neither did I until someone heard me say it and said, it's Stanton. And I said, well, you're fucking spelling it wrong then.
Then it's spelled wrong, dickwad.
If you put a U after it, it turns it into an...
What a fucking idiot.
I know. I hate everybody. It's Stanton. My apologies for pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for the tip. Anyway, so we were there. Thank you for just the tip. We were there I was there to watch the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin University play the William Peace Pacers.
When you say that, I just imagine all these squirrels running around making very high-pitched noises.
I didn't see one squirrel.
Wow. That's another book. There was another book that I was reading there was a long history of squirrels in the town. It's fucking hysterical. It was a funny part of the book. It's a bit of a comedy, romantic comedy type book. Little rom-com.
Love it. Yeah, so the Fighting Squirrels, I sat down in the stands because I got there half an hour early.
Yes.
And I'm watching the teams warm up, and I'm sitting in the stands, and I go like the furthest away from what I think is where the home team is going to sit.
Yeah.
And as the stands fill up, people sit next to me, and I try to be nice. I'm like, I'm a visitor. It's not my home. I'm not a fighting squirrel, but I would like to watch my kid play soccer. It's nice. And there's a family here, and the pap and the grandma are there to watch the granddaughter not play. The lady next to me ends up being the forwards mom. Sarah's mom is next to me. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. She does sit a little close to me, which I should have realized was a red flag.
Yeah, big one.
Right off.
Big one.
There's a whole entire bleacher to choose from, and she sits about this far away from me. Like, I'm on one of the COVID dots, and she's on the other COVID dot. So I'm like, that's
too close.
Too close.
I feel like I need to teach you how to choose a seat at a soccer game.
So the referee blows his whistle, and they start playing. And immediately there's a foul. Like, the referee calls a foul. And Sarah's mom is, what? That's ridiculous. How is that a foul? Oh my God, ref. How is that a foul? And then
I hope Sarah's mom listens to this.
Me too, because Sarah's mom, if you're listening, you fucking suck. You were the worst person to sit next to because you were a moron. And obviously, Sarah got into college because she obviously takes after your ex-husband, because there's no way this cunt is still married. The next words out of her mouth are, that's okay. Piss her off because she'll just play better.
Is Sarah a fighting squirrel or is she a pacer?
She's a fighting squirrel.
Why are you still sitting by her? I don't why didn't you move?
This all happened in 5 seconds, right? Sarah gets fouled. The referee the referee doesn't call it. And was it a foul? 50-50. I don't think even the referees know when it's a foul, honestly. I think they guess. Anyway, she says that. I grab my phone, I look at her, and I stomp down the bleachers.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't.
Yeah,
There's no way.
No.
There's no way. I go to the end of the bleachers and I stand there, but there's still like all of the Mary Baldwin people are there. And obviously, the quality of the refereeing in Virginia must be so high on a consistent basis that these people are expecting the referee to make the right call.
Like every single time.
Ever. I never expect the referee to make the right call because they're bad at it.
Yeah.
And you might be a little biased.
And you might not. And actually, they might be doing it right and not making the call because it shouldn't have been called. I don't know.
Like I said, it's 50-50. They don't even know if it's right. Pretty sure that, but everybody, all of the parents must have gotten together and taken a referee class.
I can't stand it.
By the end of the first half, I was ready to throat punch an old lady. Sarah's mom might have been one of the more informed ones.
I can't stand it. I just can't.
Which is when I called you and said, "Is throat punch one word or two?" Then I found the William Peace fans and I went and stood by them. It was nicer.
Sports spectating it's awful. It's truly an awful experience. It really is.
I do not get it, because when your kid is new to sports, so when they're like you 8, like I can see you being a little overzealous about it. Like you don't quite realize that Timmy's 7 and your experience with sports is watching professionals play, not kindergarten kids.
Yeah.
Like I can forgive. But at this point, your child has gone through thousands of games. They have played thousands of games. Thousands of times referees have gotten calls wrong.
Yeah,
literally thousands. And you standing on the sidelines, bitching and moaning about how bad the referees are, only enforces this kind of sense of entitlement to these children. Somebody owes them a really well-refereed game. Bullshit. They owe you a refereed game, not a well-refereed game.
Oh, it just my thought on it is I always want to say to these parents, when was the last time the referee made a different call because you were yelling at them? It doesn't typically happen. So how about you pipe down a little bit, okay? Like
all you're doing is making me upset.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Frankly, I don't need it.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure that our goalie got a red card last week because of one of our parents. Because she was yelling, "That's a red," for the others. Like she felt that he was fouled. And so she was yelling, "That's a red card." And then the referee gave our player a red card, which I think he might have deserved, but I think they were going to let him go until someone in the stands kept screaming, "That's a red card."
Yeah, I mean, when we were moving as a group through the state cup or PA West Cup or whatever it was that Olivia did, we had to sit down with one of our dads and be like, you have to stop that. You cannot scream at the referee like that. It embarrasses us. It embarrasses the kids. It doesn't help.
No.
Nothing about this helps. In fact, you're probably hurting us. So if you can't stop screaming at the referee, you can't come to the games. That is what we did as a collective group of parents. And to sit there and listen to grown people say things like, "I can't wait to report you." I'm like, report him for what?
Yeah, I don't understand. I truly don't understand. And there's definitely times where there's bad calls. It's going to happen. And there's me in the stands going, "What?" But I also sit by myself and I say it just about at that level. What?
Right.
That was a shit call. And then I move on with life. It's not helping. Anything that you're doing yelling is just negative. It is just negative. And it's going nowhere. You're upsetting yourself, you're upsetting your child, you're upsetting the people around you. It's not good. It's not good.
Right. Why do we want to get everyone riled up? Just
Yeah.
sit, watch and play. Plus,
Yeah.
it's Division 3. It's the USA South Division 3. No one's getting a gold medal. Relax. You're gonna watch your kid. If she's a freshman, you're gonna watch her play 30 more games. Just relax, enjoy it, because they're not gonna play forever. Maybe you have 7 kids. I don't know. Maybe you're a trad wife and you're just squirting them out on a routine basis. There you go. Okay, mental health stuff. So I have a few things to cover, and then we'll hop right into season 3, 10% happier.
Yay.
All right. So I had a psychiatry appointment today with my psychiatrist where we talked a little bit about my medication and her idea for dealing with the angry person that I am in the late afternoon is to take the medicine later.
Oh, okay. So then you don't become angry until it's bedtime.
So then I'm like, I'm all the way through the day. I'm all the way through because what she thinks might be happening is that I've made it through the day just fine. And then there's a lot of things that happen at the end of the day. Like you got to figure out what you're cooking for dinner. David wants to know what's going on. He's coming home from work. He's giving me a lot of feedback about shit I didn't do during the day or that I've done incorrectly. There's a little bit of overwhelm happening at the very same time. I'm not able to cope with that as well because I don't have the Vyvanse anymore.
Got
She's, if you can just move the 12-hour window from here to here, then by the time it wears off, you will have dealt with a lot of the after work things in addition to the work things. You should be less likely to stab somebody.
So have you tried, did you start that?
No, because the appointment was just today. But
Oh,
like in my habit of taking the medicine happens when I drink the coffee.
yeah. You're going to have to change that.
It's been working so well though. Like I hardly ever miss a dose. We'll have to switch up our atomic habit of taking my medicine. So that was that. And I talked to her a little bit about therapy and she was like, I'm so proud of you for finding a therapist. She's, that's really hard to do. I'm like,
You did it. You done it.
I did it. We started talking about really good stuff and then I quit going for 2 weeks.
You'll be back at it this week, right?
Oh, I have a virtual appointment tomorrow and then I have another one on Friday.
Oh, good. Good. Very good.
But my appointment on Friday overlaps with my Botox appointment.
Are you going to reschedule that?
Yeah, I'll just
Like-
reschedule it.
So how long have you known that and how long have you been putting that off?
Just today. Just
All
today.
right.
I've thought that my Botox appointment was on Thursday, but that's my
Ooh.
eye appointment because these are the only 4 days I'm in town in September.
Yeah.
All of the appointments have to happen
This week.
now.
Gotcha.
In addition, I want to maintain my friendship relationships, so I also have to do some friend stuff this week if I want
Friend
to keep
stuff is good.
having friends.
Yeah.
But psychiatrist was really proud. And she
Good.
said, you sound like you're doing great, really happy with what's going on. You should be really proud of yourself.
You should.
And I was like, thank you. And that's all I'm going to say because I know how to take a compliment without being all weird and awkward and telling you that you're wrong.
Very good.
And she was like, proud of you again, hanging
Yeah,
up.
There you go.
So that was pretty funny.
Good. I'm very proud of you.
Dan Harris's website. Dan Harris has a website, the author of 10% Happier, and I joined for both of us. You should have an
Yeah.
invitation in your email
Like when?
today.
Yeah.
Or you should just go there and try to log on with your email because now it'll recognize your email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice website. It's very busy.
I get emails from it,
Yeah, there you go.
so I know that much. And like, there's a mention of a chat, and
God
came
bless
out of
you.
nowhere. That hurt.
Hurt my ears too.
Anyway, yeah, there's mention of chat, and I feel like that's very overwhelming.
Like the whole thing is very busy. Clearly not a website for attention deficit people, but there is a section on meditations. So when we get to the point where we're gonna get our busy brains into doing some meditations, there's a whole section for us to look at. So we can do it. I did yoga.
Here's the thing. So I read the preface of the book and chapter 1.
Before the face.
I thought you would like that. And yeah, it was more solidification that Dan Harris and I are very similar individuals, except for the whole super smart broadcasting genius, making lots of funny shit. Besides that whole thing, because he originally wanted to call the book "The Voice in My Head is an Asshole." And I often refer to the voice in my head as my brain voice, and my brain voice is a dick. Like, this is something that I'm very much aware of. He talked about how he wasn't fully aware of the voice in his head for a long time. And I was like, yeah, but I know mine's there. The thing is, I haven't gone past that. Like, I know it's there. It's a lot of funny shit. That's really all I recognize is the funny shit. The bad shit is the stuff that I try not to recognize. It's time to start recognizing all of it. But the one thing that he had stated, I was like, yes, this is me. And so this is going to be helpful because I know that this man now is all about the meditation, because he originally talked about how he believed that meditation, what did he say, was basically for just the robed gurus, the unwashed hippies, and fans of John Tesh music.
I know exactly where I was on the road when I heard that on my Audible book.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. Then his next sentence is, moreover, since I have the attention span of a 6-month-old lab, I figured it was something I could never do anyway. I was like, yeah, that's pretty much, yep. Yeah, Dan and I are on the same wavelength there. Yeah.
Squirrel on crack. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that hello, kitty.
But the whole point of the book is to get rid of that. The whole point of the book, the whole point of him sharing his experience is to show us how he went from that mindset to being a meditating, crazy, awesome guy.
Right. And
how much it's helped him.
And a guy who is constantly pointing out the benefits of meditation. And if a guy like that can find benefits to meditating, if a guy who is super high energy, super competitive, super focused, and super neurotic about their career can find the benefits to meditation, I'm all for giving it a go. Giving it a go. Getting out of my own head, I think, is the place that I am excited to go. Looking at the books that we've read, looking at the subtle art of not giving a fuck and figuring out what my values are, looking at the Atomic Habits book and figuring out how to make my values line up with the shit that I'm doing, and stop doubting everything, overthinking, stop second guessing. And if we can get there with this meditation stuff, then I am 100% willing to be more peacefully minded.
I can do it. I can do it. We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
We can definitely do it. We can do it.
Yeah. And as long as we're thinking, like, we have all the tools, right? Like, we've got these atomic habits, and we've got the fact that this is a goal for both of us. Like, we want to do this meditation because we think it'll help us be better people.
Yeah.
People who don't throat punch. People who don't have to call their sister and say, how do you spell throat punch?
Yeah.
People who are able to let that lady enjoy the soccer game the way that she wants to enjoy it without, like, really getting angry.
Yeah.
And maybe this will help with the crash of the Vyvanse. Like, maybe this will help with that.
Yeah.
Not being so anxious about what I'm eating or not eating. I gained 10 pounds, by the way.
I love it. You are now a normal size.
I don't like it.
Well,
we'll figure it out.
You'll be fine.
Right. All right. Chapter 1. Do you want to start talking, and I'll throw in some things that I agree with or disagree with?
Sure. Right off the bat, and even just reading it right now on a piece of paper, the title of the chapter makes my hand sweat.
Why?
The title of the chapter is Air Hunger, because I know the story, and the air hunger is because literally he can't breathe, and you can't breathe, and it makes my hand sweat because it's terrifying. It's terrifying. And I know that we've told the story before about Dan Harris, and that's basically what started his journey, was his meltdown on Good Morning America. I can't say meltdown, but he had a panic attack in front of over 5 million people. And yeah, just some of the stuff he said about it is he felt like he was stabbed in the brain with raw animal fear, a paralytic wave of panic. My heart galloped, my mouth dried up, and my palms oozed sweat.
Funny thing is that when I read the title of this chapter, he talks about how
being on air.
Right. And how competitive it is, and about how his dad was, I forget the phrase that his dad used, but the way to always be on top of it was to always be afraid of it.
Yeah,
like
the fear, I have it written down here somewhere. His dad, insecurity.
Right. And that resonates so deep with me. The reason I always feel panicky, the reason I wake myself up at 4 o'clock in the morning to worry about things at work is that insecurity that I think is going to lead to the security. If I'm not constantly worried about what's happening at work, then something's going to get missed and something isn't going to get done. And that's what I took out of the title. And it's so funny because you and I took the things that really resonate with us. Like panic attacks resonate with you. Me being terrified of not being enough resonates with me.
I wrote this down. He said that actually the pulmonary doctor that he went to called it air hunger. But yeah, that's the first thing. Obviously, that's the first thing I thought of, was just because the panic attack itself is completely insane. So that stuff I knew. The background that he gives about his climb into where he was and into being a correspondent with ABC and working with Peter Jennings, that background was fascinating to me. And that's really what I enjoyed about it, because that was new to me, because I didn't know any of this. And he went up to ABC, I think he was 28 years old.
Maybe.
Like very not normal. I was going to say unheard of, but I don't think that's the case. Very young, and he went up there. He was supposed to replace Anderson Cooper on one of the overnight shows, and Anderson decided he didn't want to leave. So he found himself working with Peter Jennings. I forget exactly how it went, but he had some other job and he did a piece that I guess Peter Jennings saw. And then he got a phone call and was like, oh my God, it's Peter Jennings. And ended up working for Peter Jennings for quite some time. Can you imagine? And he was basically like, yeah, dude, just like to embarrass me, yell at me.
I feel like we all had that boss. I feel like I had that boss at the same time that Dan Harris had that boss. I feel like there are a lot of, dude, I get you. Like that boss just reinforces everything that you think is terrible about the security thing. Like that kind of boss just reinforces it so much.
Yep. And just how did he put it? Because the price of security is the insecurity. So Dan got that worrier gene, he said, from his dad. And he referred to it like you're constantly scanning your consciousness for the threat. And it's like pressing on a bruise that you could see just to see if it still hurts.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, wow. That's, yeah.
This is my early career. This is my career.
He refers to it as the caveman thinking. Of course, it's gonna be fight or flight, and you have to be aware of threats so you can continue to live, and it's gonna prolong life. But we're not cavemen anymore, so it's now just making our lives less enjoyable.
Right. Yes, I can say with certainty that waking yourself up at 3:30 in the morning to go back and look and make sure that there isn't something you should be worried about is a very specific kind of terrible way to live.
Yeah, 100%. Even like just reading the shit about the beginning of his career at ABC was stressing me out. Like I could just feel my heart rate. Like I was like, okay, then this is where Dan Harris and I differ, because I would have ran away crying. No more. I can't do it anymore.
And it's that part, and then being in a war zone and the PTSD that you just don't deal with.
That's the big part of it, is that this is in 2000 when he started there. So then, of course, in 2001, the world stopped. And So he refers to that as the most formative time in his career, yet the most dangerous time of his life. And in my mind, when he says dangerous, I don't just see that as a war zone thing, but that was leading him to a very dangerous downward spiral, including the PTSD that he wasn't even aware that he was fighting when he came back. And like he talking about some of the things he saw and how like you just turn that part of your brain off. I think that there was a couple of things that he detailed that I wanted to throw up. I just, wow, what the fuck? But then he referred to it as the journalistic heroin.
Right. This is the catch-22 on some of the PTSD stuff. Like, it's exciting, right?
But he
like
also, like, he was seeing these events in just his self-interest and where it was going to get him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, you're like, dude, I should not be, like, super psyched about any of this stuff. But I think if you're looking at, like, servicemen and women and people who are first responders, like, the adrenaline is the part that they like.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, a lot of their stuff is, like, not necessarily journalistic heroin, but career-based heroin. You're like, yes, let's get to it. Let's get to it. The thing that's exciting is also the thing that is killing me from the inside. And as long as you're able to focus on the positive and ignore the bad stuff that's happening, then everyone is content to do that. Okay, obviously you don't have PTSD if you think you don't have PTSD.
Yeah.
You're really just making a bunch of little boxes and putting them over here on the side.
Bunches of them.
Anyway, so our poor little Dan Harris.
He comes home and he gets sick. He gets real sick, like he has like flu-like symptoms, and they're trying to figure out. He's gone to every doctor and he can't figure out. He's exhausted. He's got aches and pains and whatnot. And finally comes to find months after being home, he has depression. And that goes back to people not understanding that there's a physical side of it that comes along, and you can also be very depressed and not even realize you're depressed, because he was like, no, that's not it.
I'm not sad.
That's not it. That's not it. And the doctor was like, yeah, let's get you on some meds. And Dan was like, that's awesome. I'm sure they will go well with the cocaine and ecstasy I'm already doing. That's great.
Self-medicating is, especially like a certain segment of the population can self-medicate. Like, we have the means, motive, and opportunity to call it having fun.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about spending our entire paycheck. I guess if we're Dan Harris, we don't have to worry about spending like half our paycheck.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He talks about his addictive personality and knowing that he had that addictive personality.
On the upside, you didn't have the cocaine problems. So I feel like I've lost you again, even though it says you're recording. Hello? All right, we lost Sarah because her computer crashed. But I will sum up the rest of the chapter here. So Dan Harris turns to a little bit of partying on the weekends to cope with some of the things that are happening to him. It doesn't make the panic attacks better. It makes them worse. Somebody suggests to him that maybe he tries meditation to go along with his therapy and his depression medication. And sort of the end of the chapter is him still being pretty skeptical about meditation as a potential solution. So we're gonna carry on with chapter 2 next week. Sarah and I probably won't start meditating this week, but if you want to hear how that goes, tune in next week when we talk chapter 2 of 10% Happier by Dan Harris. If you'd like to play along with us, grab the book. It's available as an audiobook. That's how I'm listening to it. You can get a paperback. That's how Sarah's doing it. And if you go to danharris.com, you can sign up for Dan Harris's website. And when we start doing the meditations, we're going to look there. All right, guys. Yeah, a bit of a rough one for us recording this week since we punked out a couple of times. And we were pretty happy to talk to each other because we haven't talked to each other much this week. So you got a lot of extra sister talk without a lot of book talk. I don't know. I dig it. So hope you guys enjoy this. And we love each other and we love you. All right. Love you. Bye.